Hi, welcome, welcome. I am so glad you're here. I'm Kelly Pitts with createwithkelly.com, and I'm a Stamping Up independent demonstrator since 2005. And I am in Lubbock, Texas, but can serve customers all throughout the US. So I'm glad you've tuned in, whether you're watching my Facebook Live on my Facebook page, which is Create with Kelly, or if you're watching my YouTube channel, which is Create with Kelly Pitts. I'm thrilled for you to be here, or even if you're watching the replay on either one, thrilled for that too. And hope you will get excited about what we're doing today and share it with your crafty friends. Just be sure and let me know when you come on. Give me your name and where you're from, and kind of let me know a little bit about yourself if you're interested. That'd be great. Today we are continuing our series. We are on card number 9 of 20 cards that are in our Sweet Thoughts, Memories, and More Class to Go kit, which I have linked below the video. And I have the supplies that I used on all 20 cards. It's kind of one combination list of supplies. And I will be posting this to my blog also at createwithkelly.com. But if you decide to purchase the kit, which is a heck of a deal, it is a bargain, $40 for 20 cards. Oh my gosh. How awesome is that? Heck of a deal. So you'll also get a PDF that kind of tells you how I created these cards using the Memories and More card pack and the Memories and More cards and envelopes. Those two sets, plus a little bit of ribbon, a couple of punches, some cardstock, embellishments. That's it. I didn't use any dies or any embossing or anything, trying to keep it pretty simple so that you could actually sit down and make 20 cards if you wanted to, one right after another. Or you can just piecemeal it and make a few as you have time, whatever you want to do. But we're going to start with this one. And I'm going to go ahead and cut the card base and show you how to do that part before I start anything else. So I've kind of got two different cards. I cut a Calypso Coral base and a Pretty Peacock base to make these two cards. So the Calypso Coral base has this piece left over. See, I have that glued into this one and vice versa. So I've got the other half of this Calypso Coral is glued over here. Isn't that fun? To make two butterfly cards that way. And I really liked how this, I liked the way that worked, but I wanted it to be, I liked having the back in black. I like having that background to make that pop. I think this one pops okay, but this one just against the coral, maybe, I don't know. I liked it better with the backing on it with the basic black behind. So I'll show you how I did that on these two card bases. And the card base you'll get with this kit for this particular one is the Calypso Coral. But so it will already be cut for you. But if you do it yourself, you'll want to take this. This is 6 1/4. So you're going to take this to 3 1/8. And we're just going to start at the score line, which should be right at 4 1/4. Yeah, 4 1/4. So we're going to drop our little cutting blade into that, and we're going up with it. Okay, so now we have two separate flaps, and you can cut them with your paper snips if you want to, or you can cut it with your paper trimmer. But pay attention to which way the card goes. This card, we're going to keep this flap, so that stays connected. So that means we're going to cut this right-hand side off right here. And I usually like to push up against this edge if I can at all. So again, I'm going to come down to 3 1/8 and go up and see how, oh, perfect. Yay. Okay, now we're going to take our Pretty Peacock and do the same thing, except opposite on the flap. But it is going to be 3 1/8. And I'm looking at the trimmer. I know y'all can't see that, and I don't know how to show you that. I don't I don't have a way to, I don't know how to zoom this in. So we're going right lined up with a 4 1/4 and up to the top. Now the other card, this card that we'll make next in the next video, that's on the right side that's going to stay connected. So this is the back, that's the right side. So we're going to cut this side off here. I'm going to line this up at 4 1/4 over here. And I'm going to go up to where that cut line is, right at 3 1/8. And we'll see if that cut off, not completely, but close enough. It didn't fall out, but it's about to. We're just going to give it a little help right there. Now, we've got those 2 extra pieces. We have this flap on the right and the Calypso Coral flap on the left. Okay, Pretty Peacock and Calypso Coral. So we're going to set this aside, and this is going to be card number 10. We're working on 9 right now. So I'll move the trimmer out of the way. And we're going to use the peacock piece with this, and I'm going to set this aside with my card 10. All right. I'm just going to fold this over, line that up, and use our bone folder to burnish that. We'll go ahead and glue this in before we misplace it. And it should fit just right here, right up next to the edge. Like that. Okay. So we'll just glue that in flat. Y'all could use your Stampin' Seal, or you can use liquid glue, whatever you want to do. Just needs to go flat right there on the right-hand side. Just try to get that totally even. Probably show more at the top if it's off. So let's move that up just a little bit if we can. We can trim that just a tad if we want. It doesn't really bother me. And I think it would bother me more if I got it a little crooked. So we're going with that. Okay. Next, we'll just set that aside. Leave this here. And we're going to take our big butterfly. Oops, let's make this bigger. Y'all remind me this if I forget. Let me know in the comments. Always mean to make it bigger so y'all can see it better. Okay, we'll move that. Let's see. Maybe I'll work right here and move that over there. That'll be easier. Okay, we're going to take this and just, we're not going to go in and out and in and out on each little thing. Whoop. I did that on the last video where we just had a little line of flowers. But on this one, we're just going to leave some white, just kind of round this off, okay? We're just wanting kind of the shape of a butterfly. We're not cutting in and out on all the flowers. We're just going to cut the shape of a butterfly. We're just going right around the edges. So y'all will get these cards. The Memories and More cards have some cards this size, which are 4 by 6, and some cards are 3 by 4. But with my Class to Go kit, you will get for $40, you'll get all the supplies to make 20 cards, which is awesome with our Stampin' Up colors. And then if y'all want to do some extra, I'm just going to go right here right now. I'll get over here so I can, I'm not sure if I'm going to need some of this grid pattern somewhere, so I don't want to cut it all. Just whack it all up just in case. So I'm trying to keep a little bit of an even border on both sides here. Just gonna wheel around because we can trim it up a little more if we want to, kind of even the sides up if we want to. Just depends on how much time you want to take, which I'm doing a lot of videos, so I'm thinking we want to keep this simple. And if y'all are making all 20 cards, you want to keep it simple. I bet, right? Okay, now we're going to come around there. Now we've got this cut off, so I would save this, especially these flowers you could use on the inside of a card or something. You might, this is big enough where you could use that grid somewhere. So just hold on to that. And we'll go in and cut around his little antennae, whatever it is for antennas, plural. Antennas. I don't know. I do not know. Okay, so we'll come on down inside just a little bit like we did here. We could come a little further down on both sides, I think. Okay. That kind of ended weird, so I'm just going to go in like that. See if we can make that look a little more even. Just kind of playing with it a little bit, trying not to fight with it. Got one little strip in there that's being ornery. See if we can snip that off from the back. See how that works. Okay, now I'm going to kind of round those where they're not squared off antennas. They're kind of a little rounded. And if y'all have any questions, be sure and let me know. I'm happy to help. I'll check the comments. And y'all let me know if you're watching. Would love to know who you are and where you're from. Okay, we have our basic shape of the butterfly. I'm going to come up just a little more in here so that we kind of have a little more room for definition of that body. We're just going to we may just cut out a body like I did on mine. How about that? Is that even enough for y'all? You could come in more if you wanted, but that's pretty even. So I think I'm good to go on that. Then we've got, if you get the kit from me, you'll get a piece of basic black. And if you want to go ahead and glue it, you can. That's probably the easiest, instead of trying to hold it in place while you come around it. But it's up to you. If you want to try that, you can, just so you could make an adjustment. If you see a part that's off here, you could do that. We could start it and just see what you think. Come back and glue it. I'm going to leave maybe an 1/8 inch border all the way around. Like that. It's probably easier to go ahead and glue it. And that was not the best thing to do, just snip across like that. It's better to be steady and hold it, go all the way around. Then you can make those adjustments if you want. Let's get the basic shape in like we did before. And then come back to the antenna. See, this is a little tricky to do it this way where it's not glued. I think we might as well glue it, really, but I just wanted to see if I could do it this way so y'all know a couple of options. Just coming around, trying to leave about 1/8 inch all the way around the outline of that butterfly. And I'm just holding these two pieces together, and then we'll see at the end if we think it was worth that effort of holding them together, or if we'd have been just as well off gluing them. Whoops, see how I snipped that? If you get in a hurry. See, now that I didn't glue that, I see this little point right here. See how that's off a little bit, that white, the white part. We can smooth that out to match. So those kind of little things like that, it's probably great to have the flexibility. to fix those, but it's totally up to you. If you don't feel comfortable doing it and you think it's going to slip, or if it slips once and you want to glue it, glue it. Okay. So I'm kind of going up in there just a little bit more on both sides. And then I'm going to round this right here. A little on the tricky side. And y'all can leave that at whatever point you want to. I probably went too skinny in there with the chopping, trying to trim it just so. Let me trim it from the back. Now I've got it moved, but I can put it back. Since I have the basic shape, I'm not too worried about that. Okay, now let's hold it again and get in here. We might want to go ahead and glue it at this point. I'm going to go ahead because I think this might be a little tricky on this part. So might want to be able to have some flexibility there. That's why I'm holding it, because once it's glued, you're not going to be able to do that. If you make a little wrong turn somewhere or snip too much. Okay, I think I'm still good. Just checking my borders everywhere. Snip. All right, now for this little bit trickier part, you kind of have to go in very carefully. Can you see how I'm doing that? Just very carefully there, trying to get that end where it doesn't look torn or anything. Okay, now I'm going to snip that so it's a little more rounded right there and here. So we don't have all those points. Okay. So I've still got some jiggity jaggedy stuff right here that I need to take care of. So I'm going to take this off one last time. And if yours is glued, then that's fine. You can do however you want to do it. I just wanted to have a little flexibility. Okay. Let's see if we can get some of this mess up off the desk. Y'all don't need to be looking at trash, do you? Okay, now we'll see how we did here. Make sure you're going to glue it to the right side because it's going to be different on each side. You know what I mean? This is the back side. I just can't seem to get that little part right there. It's wanting to be frayed. Not afraid, but frayed. Okay. I may have scared some people off. I don't know with this, but it's really not bad. Just be a little patient. Okay. So now we're going to glue this, and maybe we'll fold that up a little bit. We do have that coming in a little. That's not coming in quite as much as this side. So I'm going to come a little bit more in like there, cut a little bigger sliver out. And try to pull that to the back. Okay, and y'all don't have to be this particular about it. So we kind of have an even border everywhere. So that's going to be glued flat to the black. So at whatever stage y'all want to do that. If you want to do it right away, or if you want to do it like I did where I was holding on tightly to it, making sure it didn't slip. So even the antenna, I'm going to glue down to that black backing. And then we can still trim the black a little if you see a spot that needs it. Like this one right here. It's a little too big right there. Okay. There we go. And we will decide later if we want to do a black. I think I just cut a black body so that it would even out with these. But we will do that in a minute. Okay, now we have our card base right here. We're going to glue the strips of crushed curry. We've got 2 crushed curry strips that are 3 1/8 each one. And we're going to wrap the ribbon around them first. So I will take Stampin' Seal and put it on the ends of both of them. And we'll get a little, whoops, I think I've already cut the ribbon. Let's see what I did with it. Maybe I didn't cut the ribbon. Just thought I did. Okay. So we'll just try to get that in the center. That is a little frayed. Looks like my blade needed to be changed when I cut that. Okay. There we go. One down, one to go. Pretty quick and easy. So it's sticking to the seal there on the back. Then we'll have a little bow. And usually I cut about 9 inches for the bow. And that'd probably be about 5 inches. Maybe 4.5, 5, something like that for that short strip there. But this would be about 9 usually for my little ones. Okay, now we're going to glue this to the card base. We'll glue this one down. Let's kind of audition our pieces first and see where we want this, because you want these to be even. And then we're going to attach this only on this side. Does that look about right? Maybe up a little more. What do y'all think? Is that about right? It's about, I think maybe up just a tad. And we'll get one side on and then we'll glue the other one to match it. And if y'all want to measure with grid paper or whatever, however y'all want to do that is great. I'm just going to kind of judge where I think I want it. Try to get that straight. And then while the glue is still drying, we're going to do this side and glue it flat over here, but even with that side. Okay, let's see about, well, I don't know if I haven't. So that's at about, right about 2 inches, a little more than 2 inches down. Okay, there we go with that. And now I used a little wink of Stella on the edges of the crushed curry. Just kind of drawing a line. Doesn't have to be exactly straight. It's just giving that edge a little sparkle. I just think it creates some interest there. Then we will figure out how we're going to do this body. And you could try to put a bend in there on either side of the body, but I kind of just did it a little bit like that and a little bit like that. Can you see what I did to kind of raise those? It's going to kind of flatten if you mail it, but if you don't, it'll be a little, stay a little peppier up like that and give it some dimension. And all I glued this side just kind of right in here. I didn't glue all the way to the end. I didn't use dimensionals out there. Just used them right up here. And that one side and that one side only. That's all it needs. Maybe one more right here to hold that a little better. But still leaves the ends up, the ends of the wings to kind of fold up. And we're going to we need a little more room on, we need it to come over a little further over here if we're going to put a bow. You don't have to put a bow. If you didn't put a bow, I would leave that right in the center. But since we are putting the bow, I kind of went over a little bit on the right. Let's see how that looks with our little bow. We could put it this way. Or we could not put a bow. We could just not put a bow on this side if we want. What do y'all think? Do you like it a little further over? Whoops, lost my glue mat there. That will kind of tuck in the envelope, I think, and be okay. We'll tighten that up, pulling the tails and the loops at the same time. We'll stick that on with a glue dot or two, maybe 2 glue dots. That will kind of go under there a little bit. And that shape kind of mimics the wing shape of the butterfly. Then if you want to do the love you to pieces on here, like I did, that's one of the greetings in the set. And I thought that was kind of cute with the to pieces, and then put it on 2 different sides there. So it's kind of split up, you know, love you to pieces. It's in 2 pieces. So we're going to do a little head of our body there. And then if you did this flat, you wouldn't have to cut out another body and raise it up. So I don't know. What do y'all think? We can trim this with a little trimmer, or you can just take this and try to get that straight right there. I may try to just use a little trimmer. And no, Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell these anymore, and they did, and I love it, but I bet a lot of y'all have it, or a little bitty guillotine like this. So I've got this. It should be all even at the top. So I'm going to cut it in half. Try to get it straight. And right in between the love you and to pieces. You could use your regular Stampin' Up! Trimmer on that. Stampin' Trimmer. Okay, we've got love you. We can just do this on this side. And do that flat. And y'all can decide which way you want to do yours. If you don't want to make the little body, that certainly works. Instead of like this. So you can have it flat like that. If you do it like this, you can just cut out of a shape of a body. I mean, there's nothing technical about it. That's kind of off. Kind of folded there. But see, you could just kind of make your own shape to the body. That looks more like a bee. But that's as easy as it is to do the body. Just kind of play with it and then put it on where it tucks in around the head. You know, you could just make a little curve like that so it'll cut around the head. And then we're going to round this off because after all, it is not a bee, it's a butterfly. So if you wanted to add a body on top of there, you can certainly do that. Or leave this body as it is. However you want to do it. But that is our, whoops, sorry. Got so involved in making my little butterfly, I forgot to look at the screen again. So this one has the Love You to Pieces mounted flat. You can see. And then this one has a body over it with a wing of Stella. And these are mounted on little foam adhesive strips. So you can do it either way, but it raises up like that. And you can write your little message in here. And this side is glued down. So it just is really an interesting fold that way with that you're reaching for the butterfly to do that. Y'all like it? Hope so. You too could get this whole kit for 40 bucks, 20 cards, as long as the supplies last. That's why we're going to go ahead and order. I'm going to order on this Saturday evening on the 30th if y'all want this kit. And then if you want to try to save a little money, you'd save maybe like $8 total on the kit if you wait for the sale. But then you might not get part of it. You might get part, not the other part. We don't know how the supplies will last. So nevertheless, this is how I made this card. Hope y'all enjoy it. And we will make its partner card, which is this one. We're going to make it next. So it might be an hour or so. I might have to have a little dinner or something first. Been going after it. My voice needs a little break, I think, and y'all do too. Thanks again for watching. Hope y'all will share with your crafty friends. And if you're interested, like I said, in that kit, the class to go should be in the description below the video. And hope you will tune back in. I'll let you know when the next video is for this partner card. Fun times ahead. Bye-bye.